ESPN and the Ladies Pro Bowlers Tour are proud to present the championship round finals of the $60,000 Claremore Classic. Can Tammy Turner repeat as this year's Claremore Classic champion? Or will the renewed confidence of top seed Kim Kennedy help her on her way to her 4th LPBT title? Or can Kim Adler rebound from last week's disappointing performance in the first game? We're in Claremore, Oklahoma, just east of Tulsa, and home of the Will Rogers Memorial, for the 3rd stop on the LPBT Winter Swing. Welcome, everybody, to Cedar Lanes for today's stop on the tour. I'm John Neighbor, along with me, Leila Wagner, and today's field is a good one. The defending champion, Tammy Turner, starts out in the number 5 position, voted Rookie of the Year last year, and she's grown a lot since then.
She has, John. Tammy Turner last year came out with a very different attitude than she has this year. Last year, everything was a new experience for her. She said, hey, what will happen will happen. But this year on tour, she realizes in order to win out here, she has to make it happen.
Dee Davidson begins in the number 4 spot. She made the show 2 weeks ago. She almost didn't make it because she rallied from the number 10 spot in the final block.
Well, a great performance last night by Dee. She has a new attitude also on the show. She said, I just have to keep my arm swing loose. I'm going to try to not open up and give my opponent a chance in what she has done in the last couple times on the telecast. She's opened a frame. Her opponent's jumped on. She said, tonight, I'm going to try not to do that. I want to stay focused throughout the whole game.
In the number 3 position, Kim Adler had a disappointing game to start out the show last week, but she's back with a vengeance.
Well, it shows you what a quality player she is. She's able to bounce back, make the telecast again this week. Kim's had trouble, though, on the telecast. She says, I felt very tense, and I'm not comfortable with that feeling. A lot of pressure has been on her. Tonight, if you see her get in trouble, I think we're going to see her go with a comfortable ball instead of switching balls. Find something that's comfortable and create her shot.
Almost at the top of the ladder is Michelle Mullen. She lost the championship game here at the Classic last year.
She did, but Michelle Mullen's been bowling very well all week and also all year. The last couple weeks, she said the other players just out-bowled her. This week, she out-bowled all the players but one. She is very confident in this bowling center. She likes the way the lane conditions change as the progression of play, and tonight that could be an advantage to her since she is on the lanes later on in the show.
Our top qualifier, Kim Kennedy, has been the most consistent bowler the entire week. Great averages for her.
Well, and speaking of consistent, this player has been consistent on tour in her career, except now she wants to bring that consistency to a higher level. Kim started to do that last year. She won in the fall. She finds herself right back in that number 1 position tonight, only 1 game from winning again this early in the year.
Well, if Tammy Turner wants to defend her title, she'll have to climb that ladder. The first object in her way is Dee Davidson in the number 4 spot, our first matchup. And as the 2 competitors shake hands to prepare for the start of this match, Tammy Turner will begin on lane 19.
It's going to be a little bit harder for Tammy Turner to win this title tonight than it was for her last year. Last year, she started in the number 2 position.
Oh. Well, she starts it with a big strike in the first. Turner, the 24-year-old out of West Palm Beach, sits down, and Dee Davidson comes up. Dee's the only left-hander in the top 5 this week. 28 years of age, out of Clearwater, Florida.
Dee with 4 national titles. Has her sights on being named to the first-team All-America team. She's well on her way if she keeps up the pace this year. Oh.
What a difficult 6-8.
Horrible break to come in the first frame. She said, you know, again, I just wanted to stay focused the whole game and not open up and give an opportunity to my opponent. And here, it was out of her control. Great shot. Opens up with a 6-8. In order to pick this up, she'll want to hit right of the 6-pin, throw it into the 8.
She tried hard. Didn't quite get there, I'm afraid. So she leaves an opening in the first frame.
Important for Dee now to try to bounce back. Again, hit the pocket here on lane 19. Shake off the shot on lane 20.
Talked about her affection for dolphins, that little brooch on her right shoulder there. It's a little dolphin pin that was given to her just a couple of weeks ago in McAllen by Veronica and Benny Sanker, the proprietors at the center out there. And she said it brought her luck then. Oh, we're seeing a lot of these. 379 left standing.
right here, the ball is breaking very late into the pocket. When that happens, then the ball hits light on the head pin, leaving the 379. It's a very difficult spare to pick up.
Mentioned we saw a lot of those in warm-up today.
That's the front end of the lane was very tight, and the back end was hooking.
So she went for the count, got 9 in the frame for a total of 18 after 2.
Yeah.
Tammy, the Rookie of the Year last year, dropped a notch in the position round, but still, in fact, she thought she hadn't made the show. She had miscalculated Anne-Marie Dugan's score, and she was afraid she was out of the show, but she did get in there.
It was a very exciting position round game. Both Anne-Marie Dugan and Leanne Barrett actually fell out of the show. Dee Dee Davidson and Tammy Turner went into the show for the 4th and 5th spots. Very, very close.
Good for a spare in the second frame. It was March 3rd last year when Tammy Turner won her first pro title, became the second rookie in history to win one.
If you notice, Tammy has a new hairdo this year. Actually, you can't tell because she pulled it back. Not only the new attitude, but the new do.
And she's wearing glasses today.
Oh, look at this. Oh.
And the messenger just misses delivering the thought to the 10-pin.
Great pin action, though. You can just see the revolutions that Tammy Turner is able to create. The pins just have usually no chance if she gets close to the pocket. Backs the ball up, throws it very straight to convert the spare.
2 spares in a row for Turner, 2 opens in a row for Davidson as she starts now in the 3rd frame. Made the show 2 weeks ago.
We saw Dee Dee Davidson's average earlier on a graphic for the week at 216 last night. She averaged 226, won 7 of her 8 matches to make the big jump from 10th to 4th.
In fact, she jumped from 7th to 4th in the position round.
That's right.
Ooh, a lot of curl. Oh, and she almost left that awkward split again. She does get stuck with a 2-7. And from a left-hander, that's a hard one to get.
All right.
That 3-7 split's going to be hard to pick up.
That's right. Watch Dee Dee here. The ball's going to slide too long before it starts to make the break up to the pocket. Left her with the 3-7. That ball, that particular spare is a little easier to pick up than the 3-7-9.
So she falls way back, 32 pins back after 3 frames.
See there, 3 in a row. Dee Dee, this is not tic-tac-toe. You want to try to go for the X's, not the O's.
And she's there. She gets a strike in the 4th, and that'll help her out a bit. We'll take a short break. Tammy Turner next up. Tammy Turner, who set just about every rookie record you could ask for last year. Oh, and she leaves the 4.
Also made a lot more money than she thought she would in her rookie season. She finished 6th on the earning list last year with over $65,000.
And that was a record for money earned by a rookie. Ebonite Rookie of the Year award by the largest margin ever in tour history, and she'll pick up the spare here in the 4th frame. Defending champion Tammy Turner. We spoke with her earlier and asked her if defending her title might be easy here.
I don't know if it's going to be any easier, but it's going to be really exciting for me to be able to defend my title. I'm going to go for it tonight.
And that smile is the attitude she brought with her to the lanes this afternoon.
And Hank Boomershine, her fiancé, also drove 5 hours again this week as he did last year.
Ooh,
in order to watch her bowl tonight. She left one earlier in practice. Rick Hudson, the tournament director, said Tammy Turner can leave 7-10s, but she can also pick them up. So let's see if he was correct.
Prophetic. We'll find out. And she hits the 7 dead center. Not much action there. Leaves the open frame in the 5th.
big opportunity for Dee Dee Davidson right now. She can cut her deficit to 8 pins with another strike here in the 5th frame. Now the tables are turned as she used to open up, or had been opening up, giving her opponent the opportunity to jump on it. Let's see if Dee Dee Davidson can take advantage of Tammy's open frame.
Oh, ringing 7.
Well, she tried to take advantage of it. She hit the pocket solidly, left the 7 pin.
Well, she'll get the mark here in the 5th. We spoke with her earlier. Owner of Cedar Lanes, Brenda Marshall, gave her a pep talk before the last block.
She just says, you know, that you can go out there and you can, you can do well, and don't worry about what everybody else is doing, and have some fun. And basically that just kind of kept me going.
In fact, it was a little bit more than that. Dee Dee was enjoying some self-pity as she was complaining about either her knee or her wrist. And Brenda came over and said, enough of that self-pity. You're a pro. Get out there, do what you're paid to do. And Dee Dee responded to that.
And Brenda Marshall being the co-owner here at Cedar Lanes, along with Betty Widmar and Al, Betty's husband. Very wonderful host here. Already we found out we will be back next year. Not only that, they're so generous that they dug deep into their pockets and are offering a $50,000 prize for anyone that shoots 300 here tonight.
Perfect game on TV won't happen in this first matchup, but a nice spare in the 6th for Dee Dee Davidson. Here's Brenda Marshall, the lady who gave the pep talk, and she has been very active in Oklahoma bowling for a long time.
And what wonderful crowds and pro-am that they have had here.
Leaving the 4-2-7-8. Nice.
Tammy Turner coming up very light into the pocket. Is not able to get the pins to mix. The front part of the lane here broke down as the conditioner absorbed very quickly. Michelle Mullen explained it to be like the older lacquer conditions. She said that they seemed to change. You could make those gradual moves left. Said she enjoyed it.
Oh, yes, a lucky 2 bouncing out of the channel, knocking down the pins for the spare in the 6th.
And this is what the sideboards are used for many times. Trying to hook the ball into the spare, barely makes it back. Watch 2 pin as it came off the wall. Took out the 4. Tammy's reaction. Oh, yes, thank you very much.
Really. And she's back to her striking ways in the 7th as she puts all 10 away here. We'll be back with more of this first matchup between Turner and Davidson. Stay with us. We're back again. Dee Dee Davidson starting out in the 7th. She's working on a spare in the 6th. .210 average on the TV pair overall. A lot of action there at the end.
Finally carries on lane 20. She has not been that far from striking on that lane in the past couple shots. She left that 6-8. She left a ringing 7. This shot, she slaps out the 7. Watch the 4 pin.
So with that strike in the 7th, she pulls within 20.
Dee Dee had a lot of problems with her knee going into the last day of the finals. She said she was ready to call in the alternate, but she came out, shot 230, 240. The first couple games, she said, my knee just went numb at that point, and I just kept bowling.
One wonders if the absence of pain is a good thing. As she makes it 2 in a row in the 8th, and now she's found her little winning way.
A lot of ice and a lot of Advil helps that pain.
That's right.
Right now, Dee Dee Davidson only trailing by 10 pins with that double. Tammy Turner can take the lead again by 20 if she can double here in the 8th.
233, a good average for this pair. Even the 2, and that's not going to help her.
A lot of support from Tammy's family, her friends. She bowled for West Texas State along with professional bowlers Carolyn and Kathy Dorn. She said they really helped pave the way for her out here on tour. And I had to laugh. We were joking with her last night and said, you know, well, how have you grown out here? She goes, well, I iron my clothes now.
She asked you not to mention that.
I know, but she'll appreciate the fact that she goes, I now iron them, and all my friends know that this is true.
That's right. No, it's got to be a comfort to be an incoming freshman, if you will, and having some upperclassmen sort of take you under their wing.
Most
and show
definitely.
You how to do it.
When I first came out, it was Cheryl Robinson, Judy Sutar that helped me.
Fiancé Hank Boomershine.
Another
after that long drive.
That's right, 5 hours. Another big supporter of Tammy's.
Tammy laughingly said she wanted to do well here because she needs the money to pay for the reception for the wedding they're planning next year.
That's right. Hank, in the meantime, is an excellent bowler in his own right, has put his bowling career on hold. He's going for his master's in biology. And meanwhile, Tammy is out trying to make the money.
An important strike here could pull her right even. And she gets it.
That evens up the match.
No shutouts coming up here. Tammy making some adjustments.
Tammy making a lot of adjustments right now, adding tape. It was very chilly here in the bowling center, and apparently she is feeling that as well. Her hand is going down. She is adding tape. That way she doesn't lose the ball. She can get a good feel. Dee Dee Davidson can shoot a possible 205. She cannot shut Tammy Turner out. Tammy can shoot 205 if she strikes out as well.
Dee Dee very grateful to her sponsor, Larry Tottori. And she's finding a niche here. That's 4 in a row.
10 years ago, this lady joined the tour, was named the 1985 Ebonite Rookie of the Year. She is playing right now the 1994 Rookie of the Year. Dee Dee was only 18 years old at that time.
In match play, Davidson was only able to beat Kim Kennedy of the 5 finalists. If she takes it off the sheet, the best Tammy can hope for is a tie in the first 10 frames.
Big shot right here. Oh! That shot would have forced Tammy to throw 2 strikes in the 10th. Right now, Tammy Turner is going to have to at least throw the first strike, though, if she wants any hope to move on.
And so Davidson ends it at 194.
Just really was not able to get off to a good start with that 6-8 and then coming up light 2 frames in a row, but she turned it on in the 4th frame. Right now, Tammy Turner must strike.
And she didn't. And so she will not be able to advance to defend her title.
Tammy actually switched balls. Saw her sitting down, adding tape to it. That ball did not make the turn back up to the pocket. Dee Dee Davidson will move on.
So the Lucky Dolphin playing some role in this. $2,400 for the 5th place finish for last year's Rookie of the Year. With the spare here in the 10th, we'll take a short break. When we come back, Leala Wagner has a special interview with us. Welcome back. We're getting ready now to start the second match. Kim Adler taking her seat, letting Dee Dee Davidson begin this contest. John Maber with Leala Wagner as we're here at the Cedar Lanes in Claremore, Oklahoma, to take a look at the lane breakdown.
Dee Dee Davidson, lane 19, 3 strikes, lane 22, strikes. And actually, the way it started out, Dee Dee Davidson was actually hitting lane 20 better than 19, but she was unable to carry. And
they danced around the 7 that time.
actually finding the pocket now, feeling a little more comfortable with the lane condition. I asked her when she was practicing, were the lanes similar to what she had bowled on during the week? She said they were a lot tighter for her as well as they were tighter for the right-handers. The lanes this week were oiled 38 feet with a lane walker. They were again oiled 17 feet on the second run.
Picks up the spare in the first, does Dee Dee Davidson, as she sits down. And here comes Kim Adler, 27-year-old right-hander out of Titusville, Florida. Her fifth year on the tour.
Kim started out this tournament very slow. She said she's just trying to grind it out the first day. The conditions favored her, though, on the last day of the tournament. Watch the head pin. No, didn't take out the 10. She was another player like Dee Dee who won 7 matches in the final round of match play, but she told me it wasn't the fact that she had bowled that well. Her opponents only averaged 187 against her. She averaged 212.
Finished 7th in this event last year in Claremore. And she picks up the spare in the first.
Very simple, no frills game. 5-step approach, drops the ball down in her second step. All of her steps are relatively the same length. Here's a long slide, though. She's going right now into her slide, has a low backswing. Almost appears that she's going to foul. She ends up very close to the foul line.
Missing the head pin. Washout.
Talked to Kim while she was practicing, and she told me that the lanes did not seem to be anything like they were for her earlier in the week. She said she's playing with a completely different ball that she used all week. She's also playing a completely different part of the lane. She said some of the players yesterday were playing outside of the second arrow. She has opted to move out there tonight. Right now, she's going to want to try to hit left of the head pin, treat this like a regular washout.
My. Not much success with that one. And the very disgruntled Kim Adler takes her seat.
This is only going to help to boost Dee Dee's confidence in this match. You can start to feel that the wave is going with her. She is now feeling more confident with the lane condition. Also, the crowd's getting behind her, and Kim is struggling.
Boy, she chopped out half the rack, but left a bunch up.
When Dee Dee gets a little slow, she'll have a tendency to tug the ball a little bit. That's exactly what happened. She basically hit inside of her target, turned the ball early, causes the ball for left-handers to go right.
And she bags them all here in the second. Her second spare in a row. Now, 2 weeks ago, she finished 3rd in McAllen. And as you said earlier, she felt it was just because of one mistake every game. And yet she started off the first match with 3 opens and still got to advance.
She was very fortunate.
And resilient. She stayed in it. She didn't give up.
She did.
She likes to sing and go hang out by the beach. Her affection for dolphins stems from a time she was swimming out in the ocean and found herself surrounded by a school of the lovely mammals and took an affection to them. And she's back into a strike here in the third. Kim Adler, wearing a red ribbon in sympathy for a family member found HIV positive. I need to take a note to make a personal mention. This week, Greg Louganis announced that he is HIV positive and has AIDS, and being as he's a friend of mine, I just want to wish him good luck in the near future. Took a lot of bravery to confront that publicly. A 10-pin left standing in the third.
That's right. I enjoyed watching him swim or dive.
That's right.
I saw every dive he did in the '88 Olympics.
4-time gold medal winner. Even with a gash in his head, he stayed in the contest.
Isn't that amazing?
Yes, indeed.
Kim right now. Again, hits the pocket on lane 20. The messenger almost came back. Didn't take out the 10. Just not quite the power player that you might see a Tammy Turner, where the pins dance a little bit more.
Tommy Adler, the recent husband who has put his paramedics career on hold for a while to travel in a mobile home with his wife, Kim. In fact, though he admits he doesn't know or hasn't had a long history in the sport of bowling, he's been very helpful to Kim in some psychological encouragement.
Exactly. More so in her mental game. There's more to life than just bowling, and she's finding that she can enjoy other things as well as bowling, and it's had a positive effect on Kim.
An important strike for Adler in the 4th, and now Dee Dee Davidson getting up. She's working on a strike in the 3rd. Dee Dee's last title came at the U.S. Open in 1993. We mentioned earlier she was the Ebonite Rookie of the Year in 1985.
One of her goals to go along with that U.S. Open title is to win the Samstown title for her Triple Crown.
There's a lot of affection on the tour for Samstown, of course, the overall umbrella sponsor and the big finale, if you will, the grand finish event of the year. Everybody wants to do well there.
They've been a long-time supporter of the ladies tour, and we are forever grateful to them for keeping us alive.
For good reason. Brand new center in Las Vegas. Bowling center and recreational center for those who like to wager a little bit. Looking for a turkey here in the 5th. Does she get them all? Yes, she does.
Big break as Dee Dee Davidson let that ball way out to the left. Very much outside of target. Get a little quick with your feet. Send the ball a little too far to the left. Doesn't make it back, barely. Hits the head pin, and the pins dance on the deck.
Little body English, and yes, she gets them all in the 5th. Adler now, oh, 7-10.
Kim playing a very direct, pointed shot to the pocket. Just is not quite getting the ball to finish hard enough on lane 20.
In match play, the only one of the 5 finalists that Adler lost to was Michelle Mullen, who's waiting in the number 2 position. And that's the 3rd time in a row that the 10th pin was left on this lane while Adler struggles to get back into this match.
I mentioned in the opening the pressure that Kim has actually felt on the telecast, the tenseness. She's been on telecast 11 times. Her career television average is only 199, and I think if she could get over that tense feeling, she could definitely up that average and catch a couple more titles. Right now she has 2 national titles in her 4 years on tour.
Off the spare, she gets a strike in the 6th. Kim Adler gets them all here. We'll be back with more of this 2nd battle. The opportunity to advance still to be determined. Stay with us. We're back as we look at Kim Adler trailing by 9. She just bowled her 2nd strike in a row in the 7th. An open in the 6th by Davidson really opened the door for her.
A big shot there in the 7th, got that deficit down to 9 pins. Kim Adler has hit lane 19 every time but frame number 2. Just as I said that,
Missing the head pin for the washout.
Same thing as she did in frame 2.
Let's look back at Dee Dee in the 6th frame. She had 3 in a row going, and then she left this ugly split.
3-7-9.
And that left an opening in the 6th. Now we're back here in the 8th. Adler, oh, I'm sorry, then this is Adler in the 6th. Got her strike in the 7th, and now in the 8th.
She's going to hit left of it. Oh, gave a good run. 6 pin fell right in front of the 10. And she just handed it back to Dee Dee Davidson. As Dee Dee now has a 26-pin lead going into the 8th frame. Dee Dee recently moved to Clearwater, Florida. As you mentioned, she likes laying on the beach. The sun Shine State.
Can you tell by looking at her if her knee is hurting?
I cannot tell.
Oh, and she leaves the 7.
She appears to be limping slightly as she walks back. That could be just favoring it as well.
Didi with 4 national titles. Recorded the highest 3-game total on television. 781 the score. And a victory here will guarantee her at least as high a finish as she earned 2 weeks ago.
She said she keeps finishing 3rd. One bad shot, the opponent jumps all over it. But tonight, that has not necessarily happened. She has made a bad shot in the 6th, but her opponent turned around and gave it back to her.
Looks like Kim Adler is practicing some of that mental preparedness that she's been working so hard to polish, working on her mental game. But right now, Didi Davidson is in control in the 9th frame and gets the ball.
You heard the crowd yell, carry.
Real pressure being applied here.
Well, Kim can strike out for 195. She would force Didi Davidson to mark in the 10th frame. Former Ebonite Rookie of the Year, 1991. She was also the runner-up to Player of the Year in 1993.
There's the first strike.
And Kim really was runner-up to Player of the Year on her consistency. She did not win a number of titles that year, but she was right there in point week after week. Matter of fact, she was the leading point leader. Needs 3 strikes here in the 10th frame to force a mark from Didi Davidson.
And she's going to have a hard time getting a mark in the 10th.
And we have seen this split left by Didi at least 3 times tonight from the left side point of view. Now it's the right-hander's point of view. She leaves the 2-10. She's going to try to slide the 2-pin into the 10. She'll want to hit left of the 2-pin.
And so leaving an opening in the 10th, that pretty well seals her fate. $2,850, the 4th place prize. So we'll let Didi bowl out her game. When we come back, we'll show you the other cashers here at this Claremore Classic coming up. Welcome back to more of the $60,000 Claremore Classic. John Neighbor and Leala Wagner, as we're here at the Cedar Lanes in Claremore. Michelle Mullen, our second qualifier, chose to go first. The 30-year-old just bought a house in Chicago, Illinois. She'll start out on lane 19. She finished second at this event last year. Obviously, she's hoping to do better than that here.
And she was the top seed going into last year.
Bam! Starting off with a bundle. She gets a strike, putting some pressure on Didi Davidson early.
Well, that's exactly what she wanted to do, come out a little more aggressive. A lane breakdown for Didi Davidson. Lane 19, 6 strikes. Lane 25.
And she counters nicely. Strikes all the way around. Betty Widmar, one of the co-owners here at Cedar Lanes. And the Lane Center has put up a $50,000 incentive package for anyone who bowls a perfect game on television here in Oklahoma this week.
Yeah, they made mention that that might come out of Al Widmar's pocket change, didn't it?
Yeah, well, there's a little extra cash left over in petty change. Didi Davidson recently signed on with the Hammerstaff, said it took some pressure off of her this year. Not having to rely on prize money, but her climb up the ladder so far has been consistent. Pressure now on Michelle Mullen. Got that mortgage to worry about. 217 average. She qualified second. On TV, her overall average on these lanes at 239.
Finished last year 21st in earnings with over $35,000, but 6th in average. She averaged 209 for the year.
Almost went Brooklyn. Instead, she left the 310, I should say.
Having trouble with her thumb. Apparently that ball did not get off her thumb clean as she came back rubbing it, and normally if you come up high like that, the ball hung on her thumb. She did make a pitch change recently. She said it really helped relax her swing. She was not having to grip the ball.
Oh, and got a little bounce off the 3. The ball hit the 10 and gets the spare in the second. Very fortuitous reflex as the ball ricocheted off that 3-pin.
And textbook style as the 3-pin is gone from the ball, and also the 10-pin. Michelle's been working as the Team USA coach, along with head coach Fred Borden. Michelle said she's also worked with Fred on her own game, and it's really helped.
And she finds the pocket here in the 3rd.
Didi with a 10-pin lead, working on 2 strikes in a row, is also making a tape change in her thumb hole, making sure she gets the right grip, the right feel. High game this week, 268. Low game, 173.
She told us yesterday that she'd be happy just to cash every week on the tour. She wants to be consistent, but clearly that's not her objective once she's already made the show. Now her goal is to climb the ladder, and let's see it. Oh, almost leave the bedposts.
Wow, that ball breaking extremely sharp, right towards the head pin. Big trouble here for Didi. This is exactly what she did not want to do, give an open frame to her opponent. Very difficult split conversion. She'll go for 2.
And getting the count, an open frame in the 4th. Coming up on Monday, the 27th, a lot of action here on ESPN. Basketball, the Big East, number 4 Connecticut, undefeated in conference, goes against Providence. And the Big 8, 23rd ranked Iowa State against the Oklahoma State team. They're currently 18th. That'll be 9:30 Eastern. Midnight, Big West, UNLV goes against University of Pacific. College basketball, 9 o'clock on the Western Shore, here on ESPN. Didi's moved across. She's still working on that open frame in the 4th. Got to get back into the swing. Yes, action by the pins and body English by the bowler.
And there's Al, as I mentioned earlier, sitting next to Betty. Co-owners here of Cedar Lanes. Smile, Al. Michelle Mullen right now trying to figure out lane 20.
Should mention UConn is not undefeated in the conference. Their loss to Villanova makes them still number 1 ranked. Number 4 in the nation. Strike there by Michelle Mullen.
Michelle has worked very hard in her mental game out here on tour. She's always had a very solid physical game, but her mental game has been weak in different stages of her 10-year career. And she recently talked to Eva Burgess in Las Vegas in the fall, and she gave her a few points to think about, and she said it really did help.
239, her average on the TV pair. Interestingly, Michelle was in 52nd after the first day of competition. She really clawed her way back up the ladder there. And a nice corner shot. Pocket. Gets them all.
Michelle right now just trying to focus at the task on hand.
Didi is down by 25 pins. Michelle has got 3 in a row, and so Didi has to come back here in the 5th, working on a strike.
saw it in frame number 1 of the very first game. She left the 6-8. The ball drives extremely hard right into the pocket. Normally the ball would take out the 8-pin, but not in this case. It drives right in front of it. Dee Dee might go for it. She is down in the match.
Just gets the 1. And so that's another opening in the 5th. As we take a look at the finalists by round, Michelle Mullen, the second qualifier, started out of 52, climbed all the way to 2nd.
Tammy Turner, another player that started very low in the rankings, but Kim Kennedy just stayed consistent all week. She said this was the best week she has had in a long time. She never had any ups and downs. She just was right up there the whole week. Big confidence booster for her. Dee Dee trailing right now by 37 pins in the 5th frame.
And she's getting the action over on 19 pretty well. She struck there every frame this game. So when we return, we'll see if Michelle Mullen can add to her string of 3 as she continues with a comfortable lead halfway through the semifinal game. Welcome back to more of the Claremore Classic as you take a look at some of the t-shirts that are available here, listing the names of all the professionals competing here in Claremore at Cedar Lanes. Hot seller there, and hopefully it'll be a tradition. Michelle Mullen, working on 3 in a row, steps up in the 6th.
Michelle wanted to wish her grandmother a happy birthday. Her grandmother celebrated her 79th birthday this week.
Perfect pocket shot to make it 4 in a row for Michelle Mullen. I also wanted to extend some thanks to Paul Marcinek, her ball driller, and Eva Burge, who helped her with some psychological counseling earlier. Nothing serious, folks, just mental preparation for the competition, and obviously it's having its toll. 47-pin advantage here in the 6th. Dee Dee, the only left-hander in the show this week.
But not the only left-hander in the top 24. Sue Neidig was also up there.
And that's 5 in a row as she continues her winning ways.
And Fred Gordon also said, head coach of Team USA, when you've got the 4 pins tripping, everything is going your way.
Sure seems to be. Here comes Dee Dee now. Can she rally? She's got a strike in the 6th.
30th career television appearance, 19 wins, 25 losses. Career average on TV, 204.
Ooh, what do you say about a 4-6-10?
And no, it wasn't the instant replay of her shot in the 5th frame. It was another shot. I should say her shot in the 3rd frame, but there it is again. She'll go for 2. She's getting a lot of backhand reaction when the ball breaks that hard. Does not take 2.
So as she leaves an open in the 7th, let's take a look at some other statistics throughout this week. '67 athletes competing, 203 to get some money back. Average to make the top 24, 205. And it took a 215 average to get on television here.
It usually does heat up during match play. Scores jump. And Dee Dee said, okay, I struck now. I want to stay on lane 19. I do not want to get up on lane 20, as she has been perfect throughout the whole game on lane 19, but lane 20 has been the mystery lane.
Well, Michelle made the choice to let Dee Dee end on 19 when they started off. That may be a decision she lives to regret, but right now she seems to have this match pretty well in control with 5 strikes in a row.
That's right. I think with a 73-pin lead, Michelle's not going to regret too much of anything at this point in time. She apparently had a better shot on lane 20 than she did on 19.
Ring 10.
That's why she chose to finish the match. Three-time collegiate All-American at the University of Illinois. Was a 1985 National Collegiate Champion. really, really enjoys teaching the game of bowling. She said, this is what I see myself doing after life on the tour.
Interestingly, Michelle Mullen is the only one of our 5 show athletes who did not win a Rookie of the Year award in her freshman year on tour. She's probably not even thinking about her second-place finish here at the Claremore Classic last year. 5 pins here will guarantee a victory and an advance to the championship game. And she got more than that. Double the score needed there. Mark in the 9th. And that guarantees her an advancement.
With 3 national titles, Michelle Mullen has one of those titles from the number 2 position. It came in Yuma, Arizona in 1992. And believe it or not, she defeated Dee Dee Davidson in the match prior to the championship match to get that title.
Well, this is the second strike on 20 that Dee Dee has bowled in this game, making it 2 in a row. Now it's more for pride.
She can close out with a 197 game, but it will not be enough. It's Michelle Mullen, as you can see right there in the 8th frame, already has it beat.
Third place money, $3,432. If she gets a strike to start out her 10th frame. And so, once again, $3,432 for Dee Dee Davidson and a 3rd place finish. Tying her finish from 2 weeks ago, Michelle Mullen advances for a second chance in 2 years to win the Claremore Classic. It's time now for the championship match here at the $60,000 Claremore Classic at Cedar Lanes in Oklahoma. John Neighbor and Leila Wagner watching as the top qualifier, Kim Kennedy, has elected to start and therefore finish the match.
Years pro, 8 years, and in her rookie year, 1989, she was also named the Ebonite Rookie of the Year.
Bing bang, thank you very much. She was the most consistent performer in the earlier blocks.
A wry smile from Kim Kennedy as she walked back. You heard a little bit of a double bounce, and she still struck. Michelle Mullen, lane breakdown, 5 strikes on lane 19, 3 on lane 20. Kim Kennedy has forced Michelle Mullen to finish on lane 20.
A little high on the head pin, but they all fall down nonetheless.
Michelle feels she has nothing to lose this week. She is just going after it. The last telecast she made was right here in Claremore, Oklahoma last year. So it's been a bit of a dry spell for getting to the telecast.
Both these women competing for their 4th title. When they met head-to-head, each of them won one of the matches.
Kim Kennedy shooting that 278 game. Michelle winning in the position round.
A little high again this time, leaving the 4-9.
We saw Dee Dee Davidson leave the 6-8. This is exactly what happens to a right-hander with the same ball reaction. Normally the ball would take out that 9 pin, but with a sharp break in the back end, we're going to get a chance to see exactly how it happens. We've seen her trip the 4 pins. This time it doesn't happen. The ball breaks sharply, shoots by the 9 pin, and the 4 pin does not go. She's going for it, though. Does not get it. A break early for Kim Kennedy.
She changed her ball there on the spare ball. Kim Kennedy now with the door open, with Mullen opening in the 2nd.
Speaking of balls, Kim Kennedy, after we take a look at her qualifying average of 221, a lot of pins, best qualifying average of the top 5. That's why she is in the number 1 position. And again, speaking of balls, she wanted to thank Brian Berg in Edmond, Oklahoma, who drilled up a couple balls for her this week, a couple excesses. Kim Kennedy with a 4-step approach takes extremely large 1st and 2nd step. See there, 3rd step about the same length as well, high backswing, very textbook style. Amazing that she uses all of the approach on 4 steps. Very long strides. Very good knee bend, though.
Nice pocket shot for a turkey in the third.
Michelle right now taking a few extra moments. Try to gather her thoughts. Again, she's very big into the mental game.
And she gets all 10 of them in the third. We had a chance to talk to Michelle since her second place finish last year and asked her if revenge might be a factor here.
I don't feel really a sense of revenge as much as just willing to go for the title from the second spot. I mean, I think last year, for whatever reason, I wasn't able to pull off the title. So this year, I'm bowling the pins, and I just want to play well.
Play well she is, striking twice, both times over on 20.
And played extremely well last game against Dee Dee Davidson.
Electing for a re-rack here on 19. That opening put her 32 pins back.
Kim Kennedy looking very comfortable with the lane condition right now.
And that's 2 in a row for Michelle Mullen. Don't forget, coming up later here on ESPN, it's Sports Center. That'll be 2 a.m. in the morning, 11 p.m. West Coast time, right here on ESPN. Kennedy working on a string of 3.
8 career 300 games. Still has the opportunity to win $50,000 here tonight. Put up by Cedar Lanes.
Didn't come back enough.
And you heard the crowd say, hurry up. And that's the old mention it, jinx her again routine. If you want your money safe, just ask the announcers to mention it. Here's a look at the last shot. The ball just got away from her. Never made it back. She's playing much more direct than that. She's trying to keep the ball relatively tight in the track area around the 12th board, not swinging it at all. When she gets a little quick with her timing, the ball just slides out. Both players playing the same area of the lane, and also both players are playing very direct to the pocket.
And she gets the spare in the 4th. Joyce Terrell, Kim's mother, is in the crowd.
A good luck charm for Kim. She says, I always bowl well when my mother's here. And if you'll notice, her dad is not here. And she says, I think he's not as lucky as my mom. He's determined to stay home now.
He feels he's a jinx.
And bowlers always wish it was that easy.
Really?
Just get rid of the jinx and you're going to bowl well. Well, unfortunately, that's not always the case. That's really never the case. Much more direct, right on line, basically throwing like a frozen rope shot.
Now Michelle is working on 2 strikes in a row. This is a chance to get back into the contest over on 20.
Has not captured a tour event since the 1993 Brunswick Open in South Bend, Indiana.
And she goes a little high this time. The 6 stays up. So she doesn't get herself the turkey.
Hitting inside of target. Sometimes you just want it a little bit too bad. Right now she's down by 20 pins, trying to give it a little extra. Does not come off your hand clean, and you usually pull it. She was very lucky. Look where this ball hit. Dead center of the head pin. She could have had a big split. Ended up with only the 6th pin to shoot at.
She crosses over to 19. She's working on a spare. Mullen was the 1985 National College Champion.
Great shot, smooth arm swing. Ball got off her hand very nicely. Remember that grip change she made? She said it frees up her arm swing. Many times if you have an improper grip, you're going to squeeze the ball. You're not going to get it off your hand consistently.
Kennedy, a public health and physical therapist major at San Jose State. Currently working at a public television station, KQED, in San Francisco in her spare time. 290, the high game this week for her.
You mentioned spare time. The ladies are on tour roughly 22 weeks of the year. So they do have a few other weeks out there they can get a job. By the way, that high game, 290, was the high game of the week.
In a 30-pin lead now. She's going to try to get 3 in a row. Very smooth delivery. Oh, the tent bounces but does not fall.
And a nice round of applause from the crowd. Oh, just excellent crowds last night, standing room only. They were lined up here 2 hours before the telecast, sitting on the bleachers, waiting for the show to begin.
Banging on the door. Let us in, let us in.
Kim Kennedy was honored in 1991 into the Black Sports Hall of Fame Athlete of the Year.
Oh, almost lost that, but makes it a spare in the 7th. A comfortable lead now, 29 pins.
Well, Michelle can cut that to 19 with a strike here in the 7th frame. She is working on 1 in the 6th. And I mentioned that title came in South Bend, Indiana.
She certainly seems like she's got lane 20 figured out. 3 strikes and a spare over there. Nineteen pins separate these two. 3 frames remain.
Very close match. Still room for Michelle.
Michelle spending a lot of her time in Colorado Springs at the Olympic Training Center. Coach of Team USA.
She said she's sorry she has to miss a number of the events this year because she will be on tour.
Well, the gal's got to make a living, if you know what I mean.
And you see the frustration there. She just knew she threw that shot superbly. And she just was like, oh, really needing it.
And there's a spare in the 8th. So once again, Kennedy finds herself 1 frame ahead, if you will. She had a 146 score in the 6th. Mullen 146 now in the 7th.
Which equals a 20-pin lead for Kim Kennedy. Notice the spread in Kim's index finger. Enables her to get around the ball.
And she finds the pocket once again here in the 8th. Kim Kennedy's top qualifying position is enhancing her renewed confidence. At least that's what we asked her.
Well, I feel like it's really helped my confidence because I've definitely had some bad years out here, and I feel like I'm starting to bowl much better. And you know, it was just a great week. I've never been that consistent from one day in qualifying all the way through match play. So hopefully it'll pan out.
Well, right now it's panning out. A 20-pin advantage. 2 frames remain.
She can increase it to 30 with a strike in the 9th. Talked about that consistency in the higher level in the opening.
There it goes. 30-pin lead with 1 frame to go as she pats back her hair. A very infectious smile when she's lighthearted about her bowling, but she's getting very serious today. For $10,800, I'd be pretty serious, too.
Well, she had to feel like she made a slight error on the lane. Possibly that ball held pocket, and that's where she's like, wow, if this is going to go. But she's got enough ball speed to hold line. She is creating the shot for herself. She's making excellent shots.
This is lane 20, and for the first time, missing the pocket substantially.
And a little hand motion by Michelle Mullen as she walked back, motioning the fact that she probably turned that ball a little early rather than staying directly behind it a little bit longer.
Aiming for the 3-6-10, she gets them all for the spare in the 9th. Top prize, $10,800, $5,400 to the loser of this match. $60,000 here on the tour at the Claremore Classic. Samstown, the umbrella sponsor, helping out to increase the overall prize pool substantially this year.
And one member of the Terrell family that is going to be very happy, or Kim's husband, Kevin, who is a marketing research analyst at home watching.
That 8-pin danced around a lot over there.
He's going to be very happy with that $10,800 first place check. Meanwhile, things are not going well for Michelle Mullen as that 5-pin flipped right in front of the 8. 8 dances, doesn't fall. She says, hey, what else can I do? I threw a great shot in the 8, left that ringing 10, which could have made a big difference here in the match. Kim Candy, a big sigh.
Comfortable position for her to be in. Oh, and does not get them all there on the last shot.
So comfortable that she only needs 2 pins to wrap it up.
And she'll get the 2 pins and then some. A strike in the 10th guarantees the victory for Kim Canady. More than enough to win. A very important victory for her, her 4th title.
And the top seed walks in 2 weeks in a row to take the titles. Sandra Jo-Shirey did it last week as Rachel Perez went up the ladder. And this week it was Kim Canady as the top seed to take it again.
And she's going to do it here. In fact, the last time Canady won, as you see Mullen's prize money, Canady almost overcome with emotion at this point. The last victory Canady enjoyed was from the top spot.
And that was in the fall in Rockford, Illinois.
Well, Mom, how are you going to celebrate?
Well, I don't know if Kim's going to let her go home. If she brings her that much luck, she better keep her out here for the rest of the swing.
And keep Dad at home as well. Joyce, go give your daughter a hug. Deservedly so. A fantastic finish. And her final score in this last game, 256, better than her average, which was hard to believe because she had such a great tournament this week. You see in the red and the green behind her, the co-owners, Mary Widmar and Brenda Marshall. There's Brenda with the hug. We'll be back to talk to the champion here at the Claremore Classic. Kim Canady wins it all. And there she is, the winner. There's the Claremore Classic, 256-201, $10,800 of victory. But Mike Widmar, you're the general manager. You've done such a great job today. If you'd care to make the presentation.
Sure. Great bowling this week, Kim. On behalf of the management and staff of Cedar Lanes Bowling Center, I'd like to present you with the 3rd annual Claremore Classic Champion Trophy.
Thank you.
I just want to thank everyone here in Claremore, Betty and Mike Widmar and Brenda Marshall and all the staff here at Cedar Lanes, and we just had a great time this week, and thanks for all the support and everyone coming out and watching us.
Well, in addition to a good time, you also get a piece of paper with a number on it. Let me take this eagle for you. As Brenda Marshall and Betty Widmar make the presentation of the check.
Kim, you led from the 3rd round on. You never wanted to let it go. And tonight, your performance in the final game proved that it was going to be yours. $10,800. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Kim.
You.
Wonderful bowling.
Thanks for having
You've done it all week, and you did it tonight. Congratulations.
Thanks.
As you can tell, a lot of people are happy for Kim Canady for many good reasons. The last time you won a title, you did it from the #1 position. Is this a strategy from now on?
Well, yeah, it'd be great if I could lead all week. I'm just happy that I had a pretty consistent week, and I threw the ball well on TV.
If you take a look at a monitor, we've got the footage of your final strike, a very important moment for you here. You certainly locked up the title at the time, but what was really touching was what happened afterwards.
Yeah, I was glad that my mom got to see this, and it's been kind of a long road back, and my parents and my whole family, my husband Kevin, have all been real supportive, and, you know, I'm just glad that it's getting better.
Leila, step on in here and ask her a quick.
Kim, a lot of wry smiling going on when you're on the lanes. Explain your facial expressions a little bit for me. Did you make some shots that you didn't think were going to strike or what?
I was pretty nervous, and I just wasn't making great shots. I mean, I was hoping that I'd make better shots, but luckily I, was in the right area and in the right ball, and, I'm just glad. I've just been getting so nervous on TV. I don't know what the deal is.
It's supposed to get better with experience.
Yeah, I think so. It's just, I've hit this roadblock here, and I'm getting nervous all the time.
Do you think there's added pressure on you now for next week?
No, I don't think so. I'm glad that I did so well so early this year, and I'm just hoping that, it's just back to hoping I make the cut and, and I throw the ball well.
Well, injury-free now, right?
Right. I'm definitely I've been healthy for about a little over a year, and, hopefully I'll just keep trying to stay healthy and work out and, make it through the rest of this year.
Well, a major achievement, 256 pins in the final game, a championship check of $10,800 to the winner here of the Claremore Classic. Join us again next week as the LPBT travels to Louisiana for the Alexandria, Louisiana Open. For Leala Wagner, I'm John Neighbor saying thanks for joining us here in Claremore.